So lads, today Sophie Cunningham was interviewed, obviously, after the entire fiasco. The entire Connecticut Sun fiasco. She was interviewed at practice. I don't think they really interviewed at practice after for the Golden State Valkyries game, but they did, in fact, interview today, and Sophie Cunningham was interviewed, and this is what she said, and I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Like, she's not wrong in anything she said, if we're being honest. So yeah, let's take a listen.
I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
She's not wrong. That's what Sophie Cunningham does. That is what Sophie Cunningham was in Phoenix. It is what Marina Mabrey is. It is what, to an extent, Alyssa Thomas is. And you better believe, there are players in the Fever team that are soft. And I'll say this, where it's it's very rare in sports that the guard is the enforcer. Everyone's like, oh, Caitlin needs to stand up for herself. And I'm like, one, she does. But two, she's a small guard. No small guard likes physicality. No small guard hunts for physicality. And I understand she's a big guard and stuff, but no finesse guard likes physicality. What are we talking about? No, if someone tries to fight Steph, Draymond steps in. If somebody tried to fight Jordan, it was Charles Oakley or it was Dennis Rodman that stepped in. It wasn't Jordan. You get big, you have to kind of defend yourself sometimes, but at the end of the day, you also have bigger teammates, and it shouldn't be Sophie Cunningham. And you better believe in that game, the fact is that one of her or Dewana Bonner were going to be on the floor. There would have been a brawl in that game, and it would have started from Marina Mabrey. If she was on the floor, the brawl would have started from Marina Mabrey. And Marina Mabrey would have been chucked out. Sophie Cunningham would have been chucked out. And JC Sheldon might have been chucked out. And there's a load of things where it's I saw the freeze frame where it looks like Tina Charles is punching Caitlin Clark. I rewatched it at full speed. I still don't think that there was a swing. I don't think that there was a swing with the back, but I do think contact to Caitlin Clark warranted a technical foul. I do think even when she was doing that, she was hitting Caitlin Clark while she was pointing at her. So I think there was contact there. I don't think there was malicious contact, but there was contact there from Tina Charles. I don't think it's as bad as the still image looks with her hand on her back. But she's not wrong. She's not wrong. And with this entire situation is everyone was like, oh, when you're an enforcer, you're supposed to enforce on the play, not go and get somebody 15 minutes later. And I'm like, what is the job of an enforcer? The job of an enforcer is ideally so that the other team's players know you cannot mess with this player because the enforcer is going to get you. You do not mess with Caitlin Clark because her teammates are going to back her up. And we've heard it. I'm going to make a video reacting to the Kevin Garnett situation. I've had that in my bookmarks for 2 days to make videos on and talk about and talk about that. I've talked about Courtney Williams as well, saying it as well. Everybody knows that you can punk the Indiana Fever. Everybody knows that if you get physical and you rough up Caitlin Clark, the referees aren't going to do anything. And I haven't made a video talking about the Rebecca Lobo thing on the referees. There's been so many things to make videos on the last few days that I'm late to a load of them. If you will find other YouTube channels, tweets, everything from 2 days ago that have covered every one of these topics on this channel, because there's so many, and as you guys can tell, I'm not home at the minute, so it can be a little bit difficult to do this. But at the end of the day, it's still an important one to, it's an important one to do this. It's an important one for the referees to be called out and held accountable. It's an important for the other team to be held accountable. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if it's not at that time, and people are trying to police an enforcer. They're trying to police what an enforcer does. Hell no. Do we not remember what Giannis Antetokounmpo did to Mike Dunleavy the next game? Do we not remember what Giannis did? Do we not remember? It is not uncommon. It is not uncommon. And by the way, what Sophie Cunningham did is nowhere. It's not even a stratosphere of being as dangerous as what Giannis did. What Sophie Cunningham did is not in the stratosphere of being as dangerous as Roy Keane to Alfie Haaland. But there are players that you don't mess with in sports. And it's like, if you have, in every sport, there are players that are enforcers. I'm Irish. I know all about what Roy Keane was. I know all about what Roy Keane was as a footballer. I know all about what I've heard. Like, there are goons in hockey. But let's be real. There have been goons in basketball over the years. There have been goons in basketball. And your job, realistically, as a goon, is to protect your primary. And at the end of the day, the more people are able to rough up Caitlin Clark, the worse it's going to be for the Fever. And at least people know now someone on the Fever is going to do something. Like, Temi would at least was a physical basketball player. You don't mess with Temi, but Temi's not going to come in and stop that. But if this happened last year, you better believe Temi would have stepped in. And by the way, Natasha Howard got shoved by Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark stepped up to it. She took the flagrant foul. Definitely a flagrant foul. I'm not arguing that. People were like, oh, it wasn't flagrant. She went for the ball. She knew what she was doing. It was a flagrant foul. But Caitlin Clark stepped up, and Natasha Howard just turns around and walks away. And I'm not saying Natasha Howard is soft or anything, but I'm saying, like, there is one player on the team, or two players on the team that are going to get into it. DeWanna Bonner is one who just hasn't been around. Like, you better believe there would have been a brawl if DeWanna Bonner was on the floor. It would have been a brawl if what happened to Caitlin Clark happened when DeWanna Bonner was on the floor. And, like, Aaliyah Boston, I don't know, maybe she's so scared of picking up another technical foul because when she tried to step in the Angel Caitlin situation, she got teed up. And at least Lexi Hull got into JC Sheldon's face. But look, the team needs players like this. Every team needs players like this. And look, is it good for basketball that teams need goons and enforcers, or an extreme description, goons? No, it's not. But in a league where the referees let the game get completely out of hand, every game, like, it's not a one-off. Every close game gets out of hand. Like, the referees in this league continually allow, like, even if they start calling fouls in the first 3 minutes, and this is like, again, this is an inexperienced referee thing. This referee is like, they're like, okay, we want to call the game tight, so they'll call every foul for the first 3 minutes. And then they're like, we were actually calling too many fouls. So then they stop calling fouls on anyone, they let the game get overly physical. Or referees are like, you know what, we're going to let the players play. And they just keep going and going and going, and someone's going to get hurt. It always happens. And she's not wrong. She's right about it. It's been a build-up of all the years. And the fact is that if Sophie Cunningham didn't do what she did, that is the blueprint to beat the Fever. And because Marina Mabrey stayed on the floor. JC Sheldon stayed on the floor. If she did not do what she did, the blueprint to beat the Fever would be, you can rough up Caitlin Clark. You can knock down Caitlin Clark. You can do whatever the hell you want to Caitlin Clark. That would be the game plan. Do whatever the hell you want to Caitlin Clark, and there will be no punishment other than maybe a technical foul. And that's maybe a technical foul. There was not even a flagrant on Kennedy Carter for hip checking Caitlin. There wasn't even a flagrant. So yeah, that is the video. Shout out Sophie Cunningham. And again, thank you for paying my bills over the last couple of days. See you guys.